Hulaan mo pa ba kung ano ang tunay na kulay ng tubig sa bali sa mga bata na nagnanais na magtampisaw? Tanging ikaw at ako lang ang
I was glad that this project was proposed by my schoolmates from the special science class. This is very vivid indication that we do not actually need millions of money in order to take actions that can preserve or save our environment. Moreover, we do not need to acquire major positions to become environmentalists. We don't need a degree or whatsoever before we can even show our concern to our mother nature. Aside from the new things and perspectives that I've learned from this study, I was impressed about the idea of using waste papers as alternative bedding for mushrooms.
pagbibigay na kasagutan ko saan talaga papunta ang mga puno sa gubat.
Yes, she's right. For me also, I believe that this study needs not to include a lot of complications in order to come up with a useful outcome. At last, the problems about the excessive amounts of waste papers around the campus would be a headache no more, as it is assured that they do have their own use before they can be sent finally to the trash. And just for a scientific point of view, I am positive that as the papers have undergone more processes before being disposed, can help reduce their capacity to release methane into the landfills.
Ang araw tayo lahat ay mamumulad na wala ng hangin na papasok pa sa ating katawan. Kalahatan ito'y dahil sa ating kagagawa. Kung meron pa lang pininaman sa ating
As a cyber student myself, I was pretty overwhelmed that this simple project was initiated. This only implies that the students from special science curriculum have applied what they learned mostly in science and research into real-life applications. But I am more particular to the fact that this is just a student-proposed project in the first place. Yet, it can be basically scientific without the need of being expensive. This only proves the resourcefulness of the Filipino students on putting up cheap programs that at the same time coincides with the context of the modern society.
Tayo lahat magtulungan, sama-sama umawit kami ay sabayan. Sama-sama umawit.
Community action. It has lessened the waste papers around the campus while at the same time it has produced a useful crop which is nutritious and healthy. Second, in general, I realized that doing this project needs not to be exhaustive when you are given the full option to enjoy while doing it. And of course, I'm hoping that more students will be advocating this project as it is useful but economical.
Kami ay sabayan.
Ng basura.
Of course, the best advice that I can give is that the whole team who initiated this study should give effective ways to promote this to the students and encourage the lower batches to conduct follow-up studies that will further improve the previous findings and to assure that the results that will be obtained are more comprehensive than what it used to be. For instance, since the study has only answered the question whether the waste papers could possibly grow mushrooms, why not give it a try to compare the effect of waste papers and other commonly known commercial treatments to further evaluate feasibility of papers for mushroom production.
Ilog na nananalanta. Hangin na laso.
When I found out that we will be doing this project in our YesO community outreach, at first I was really reluctant to participate because this was not the kind of setup I expect in our community outreach. But when we were in our actual reconducting process, I found it very enjoyable and it was something new that the papers will be used as mushroom bedding, and I really wonder if these mushrooms will really grow.
As a YesO member, I found this project very helpful to the community because it addresses the serious environmental problems concerning about waste. In cultivating mushroom, it doesn't give us headache because in collecting papers, we don't need a large sum of money, but only effort counts.
Nalaso ng ihip.
As it is, the project was too simple, but that was enough. No strings attached. And because of this, I can see that this is simply practical. Everyone is capable to reconduct the experiment as the steps were very easy to do. And no one will lose on the track as they carry out the various processes that are needed. Not just that, but also it expands to the horizon of the students on what is actually going on to the environment. And to act to the environment left no other time but now.
Sa isip ko't kamalaya.
Well, I don't really have much to say. All I can say is that this project was great. Of course, it does something significant to the community, especially to the environment. Also, take note, the capital and the investment is not big money. It's just our effort and time. And also, everybody is free to reconduct as much as they want to do, as long as it addresses and helps the problems in our ways, our livelihood, and our problem about healthy food. And also, this project is great because there's no need for big-time sponsors or very big money just to support this project. It just only needs our time. Our time is 100% enough.
Well, I think the creation of this project indeed is very useful itself, as it already discussed the massive production of waste paper that cause environmental harm. But more than that, it is surprising to know that mushroom isn't just a food additive that we usually knew, but also has nutritional content.
As the vice president of the YESO organization, I was overwhelmed by this idea. It is simple, but it is worth to be appreciated. It can intensify the realizations of the YESO members that there are just thousands of ways to save our environment. And it can even start from a simple step.
As the YESO president, I am pretty confident of supporting this initiative, as I am aware that this can help to address the environmental problems at hand. In the first place, it can able to support and strengthen the solid waste management program of our school. And I really do plan to include this in our upcoming YESO activity and make this as one of the highlight events for the community outreach of each team. By this, YESO members are more prompted to commit acts out of the existing additional approaches to clean up our surroundings. More than that, as the president, we, the graduating batch, would strictly emphasize that imposing cleaner surrounding doesn't create anything in return. This must be a voluntary action that must spring from the heart of every individual. Because if everybody follows of an act for an exchange system, then it would sound like that the students are just after of the merits, but rather they are not concerned of the benefits from the activities. That's not what I wanted to happen. Before I leave and turn over my position, I would like to leave a legacy to my YESO members, are responsible and reliable when it comes to this situation.
Of course, I can't really say that this study has done something so dramatic that it could be considered to have a superb impact on the community as a whole. But I am also open to the reality that this study is very open for improvements, more improvised methodologies, and wider scope of limitation, which in turn can deliver more significance to the community, especially for the students. And to stress that this is just a student-initiated project, all I can add up is that it's quite a good start.